Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm Miriam Dow, wife, mama for real estate investor and entrepreneur. Thank you so much for showing me so much love on my last video. I'm gonna answer a lot of the questions that you guys had and comments that you guys made. And I see some of you are Airbnb hosts and are thinking about also selling the property. So I'm just gonna go over all the reasons that came to this conclusion. Back in January, I realized, I think it was either December or January, I went to go make my mortgage payment. Mortgage payment was $1,184. So out of that, I was still making like a minimum, like on a slow month, $3,500. So all that extra money is cash flow unless I'm putting some aside for like vacancies or whatever the case may be. November alone, my 3 Airbnbs, I made $10,000. And I put a YouTube short up about it. I did a reel on my Instagram, so go check that out. But everything was good. 2024 comes around and a lot of things are changing. You know, we got the war, the genocide going on in Palestine. The inflation is crazy. So and I know January, February is usually slow season on the East Coast. So that's when I'm always on Furnish Finder looking to rent out on a month-to-month basis for like travel nurses. So I had a few of them hit me up, but the dates that they wanted didn't really work because I was always booked like in between a week or whatever the case may be. So I never rented out from anyone on Furnish Finder, but the quality of guests I was getting started to dwindle. So I believe for the month of January, the entire month of January. Now, I've never experienced a slow season like this. You gotta remember, I listed this property September of 2021. So January 2022, I experienced that slow season. January 2023, I experienced that slow season. January 2024, crickets. I think I had 2 bookings the entire month, either 2 bookings or 3 bookings. But in my bookings, I still get a good amount. So like I'll have someone come for 3 nights and I get $700. I pay the mortgage, but then I'm like, okay, I'm not here to just pay the mortgage. I'm here to make some money. And I've been used to making a certain amount of money. So these numbers, people are not booking. So it's forcing me to now bring that nightly rate down lower. And you know, when you do that, you are attracting a lower quality guest, and they come in, they look for an excuse to get a refund. They're not the best. They don't keep your house clean. So it was a lot of that. I had a lot of people come, pull their hair, put it in the tub, fake like there was hair in the tub. So they would submit a request with Airbnb. Airbnb would give them a full refund. Their Airbnb is sending me messages in the middle of the night. So by the time I wake up, they done already refunded this guest, and I didn't even know what's going on. So I had that happen to me, I think 2 times, where Airbnb just refund the guests in the middle of the night because they give me a deadline to respond. So I was really getting aggy with Airbnb. I'm on a Facebook group with other Airbnb hosts, and I just see every other day other people are just listing their furniture like, hey, I'm selling the property, da 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 da. Now, anytime I have a situation with Airbnb, I'm getting my refund. Like, I'm getting paid, point blank, period. But it's just started to become too much. The thought was already circulating in my head, like, do I just sell this property, use this money for another project? But then I go to make my mortgage payment. I think it was in January. And when I say I'm ready to make my $1,184 mortgage payment, the mortgage is $1,657. I'm really bad with mail. I called them up. They claim they sent me letters and all this stuff, that my escrow, because my taxes went up. Now, since my taxes went up, my insurance went up. So now the new payment is $1,657. They split the escrow payments up within 12 months. So I put an appeal in if they could at least split it up between 24 months. They approved it, but the following month. So that month of January, when I'm expecting to pay $1,200, I end up paying $1,700. That is a big difference when you got like 2 bookings for the month. So when I saw that, and I was just trying to figure out what is going on, I called the town. The town was like, well, we saw that you pulled out some permits back in 2021. Everything is slowed down. I'm like, why is it reflecting now? They're like, everything is slowed down. Now it's catching up. So the permits I pulled up for the addition of the bathroom that I put in there, electrical work, plumbing work, it's now catching up to me. So she says, if you can't, she said when I bought this property, it was valued at $40,000. Now they have it valued, I forgot the amount, maybe $80,000. If you can prove that you can't sell the house for $80,000. So we'll have an inspector come out, they'll take a walkthrough, and they'll look at comps in the area. Then, you know, we could work something out. I already knew my home was already valued at $160,000 when I did my cash out refinance back in 22. So I knew it was around 200 grand. So when she said that, I just hung up. Like, there's no way someone's actually gonna walk through, because they do an assessment, like an estimated assessment, without walking through your home. Now, once they walk through and see everything is brand new, I know I was gonna be in bigger trouble. And then the things just kept happening with Airbnb. Once that appeal was approved, my mortgage payment went down to $1,494. $1,500 is still a lot of money. And I know it was slow season, and I know busy season is gonna come back around, and I know I could, you know, potentially make more money. I actually sold it right before busy season, but at the end of the day, there's no price you could put on peace. The amount of guests that was irritating my soul was becoming too much. I have this other project that you guys know I just haven't been able to get done. And to be totally transparent, is because my credit just plummeted. My credit was in the 7s, and I decided to buy 2 properties 3 weeks from each other. So I did the cash out refinance using the property that I just sold. I took those funds, I bought another property with my husband, cash on that, and then I bought a third property with my sister, the duplex, and we used a loan for that, so it was just a down payment. But the amount of work that we needed to put in that duplex was totally underestimated. I hired a garbage contractor that didn't know what he was doing. A lot of the work we had to redo. So, and a lot of the things that I was doing, I was paying for cash, guys. I was paying for cash. Like, with my credit cards, the highest limit credit card that I have is $3,000. I come from an African household. You know, we're starting to break through the mindset now, but Africans use debit cards. That's the household that I came from. I only started using credit cards when I knew I wanted to buy a house, and my first credit card was like $300. Now that credit card is like at $3 grand. So I'm not one to have $10, $20, $30,000 credit cards. So a lot of the work that we were doing with that Airbnb was cash. It was income that I was making from my 9-to-5, income that I was making from the Airbnb. And of course, now that I'm maxing out these $2,000, $3,000 credit cards, my credit score took a hit. So now when I'm going to talk to other lenders about working with this property, they're approving me. I'm still getting approved. Like, I'm still in the mid 6s, but the rates are insane. I spoke to a few hard money lenders. Hard money lenders was trying to charge me $1,500 interest only a month, and then once you give them the loan back, then they add some kind of balloon to the end. I'm looking at these figures, I'm like, absolutely not. All this money I'm just throwing away, I can't do it. So I feel like this property is less desirable than the other property, so why not sell this property, use some of those funds for this, some for crypto, some from some other properties that I'm looking to do out of the country. Another thing is the location. Now, everyone know when you're starting when you're starting with real estate, period, you're probably gonna invest in less desirable areas just because those are the most affordable for you, right? Because you don't have that much capital. You gain your experience. Now that I've been doing this for about 4 years, I gained a ton of experience. I don't regret it. When I say as soon as I sold the house, I had, I don't regret it. I'm all over the place, but I don't regret it. And I feel free, I feel lighter. I don't have, like, it got to a point where when someone would request to book my Airbnb and I got the notification, anxiety, I didn't want to even accept the booking. I'd rather the house just stayed empty, because every other guest just kept coming and finding something to complain about. They were lying. They would tell me that they hate the location. They will call Airbnb and look for something to complain about. And then Airbnb would give them a refund, and then they go to book somewhere else. And it's nothing that I could really do about the location. I did the best that I could do about the property. So some people will come and they love it, you know, but then some people who are not used to this kind of environment hated it. So I just kept getting more and more and more of those guests. So it started to mess with my peace. And then when I started to make less money, I was like, oh yeah, we need to look for an exit plan. So as soon as I saw that mortgage payment in January, I called my realtor, like, yeah, we need to sell this house, because she was like, let's wait till the spring. I was like, absolutely not. We selling it right now, list it right now. We got like 5 or 6 offers. We got an above asking offer, some half cash offers. So it was really good. It was kind of easy. And there's that. I sold it on April 29th. And then this is probably to my doing, but I know a lot of you reached out to my realtor, Layla, and you guys buy houses from her, and I'm so glad that, you know, I'm giving her that business. That's my homegirl. But basically, me promoting how much money I was making in Trenton attracted a lot of people to go buy properties in Trenton and do exactly what I was doing. So my listing was called The Hidden Gem, and I had someone literally replicate, you know, also titled their property The Hidden Gem. So I saw a lot of that. It didn't really take away from my business, I don't think so, but it started to get oversaturated. And I feel like now with inflation and everything, everyone can't really afford to travel. People can't afford their living expenses. So it's like when people are traveling, they want an experience. So I was like, just decorating the house in itself is not going to be enough. I need to create an experience, like an outdoor experience for kids and families, and make it homey. And I couldn't really do that with this particular location. Now, I bought this property for $85,000 in November of 2020. The renovations cost me around $45,000. All in all, I was in for $130,000. In 2022, I did a cash out refinance where I got $101,000, okay? $101,000 included the closing costs. So the cash that I got in hand was, I think, like 90, 89, something like that, $1,000. But now that I sold the property 2 years after I did the cash out refinance, I made another 6 figures. So I have someone that left a comment on my previous video that started Airbnb 2 months ago. And he said that one of the guests' car was broken into and he's looking to sell it. I wouldn't recommend that you sell it just because you just got in. I got 4 years of appreciation. Well, 3 years and 5 months, but about 4 years of appreciation that was on my side. I was able to sell this house for almost triple what I bought it for. So it's not a loss for me. And when you buy real estate, you always got to think about your exit plan, exit strategy. Now, when I bought this property, I wanted to make it a rental. But now that I'm in this game, it's like, now I'm really, really looking into doing flips because people just can't simply afford their living expenses. Turn it into a rental, I probably would have been making, with that $1,500 mortgage payment, I probably would have been making $300 cash flow. Once you save that, you know, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you got a few $100s, and then something breaks, the tenant breaks something, and all that money that you saved up, you have to give back to whatever issue is at hand. So I didn't have a lot of issues because it was a short-term rental. People are there for 2-3 nights. They're not in the house physically for a long amount of time. They're literally just sleeping. During the day, they go to their activities that they're in the city for. So I am terrified of becoming a landlord. All these squatter videos that I'm seeing circulated on the net, I'm terrified. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. So I don't think the $300 cash flow, and then once I would have hired a property manager, it wasn't gonna be enough. Now, something that I would do is invest in a small apartment complex building, and then, you know, if you got 12 units, 20 units, that cash flow adds up. You know, you might be leaving with $3-4 grand a month in cash flow. But I'm sorry, these small little single family homes, I don't really know if I'm going, like the house that I'm working on next, I don't know if I'm gonna be renting it out. I have the all of my furniture in a storage facility, so if I want to do Airbnb again, I can. My feelings are a little 50-50 about it because I think I just want to sell the damn house. Sell the house, make 6 figures on the sale, and move on. Like, people contact me a lot about my decorations and always asking, like, did I hire an interior decorator for my previous projects? And I never hired an interior decorator. That's something that I really love about the real estate, you know, finishing the project, coming up with the lighting and the lights and the colors, the furniture, putting everything together. So I think I'm gonna be exploring that. And yeah, I don't think Airbnb is dead. I just feel like it's probably gonna be dead in the hood because people can't afford a lot of things right now. The times are really, really hard, inflation, and I just wasn't about to just continue to do something if I didn't believe in it. If I have a $1,494 mortgage payment and $85 is going towards my principal, that is a problem. And those are things that I overlooked before because I was getting the cash and I was going to go buy more deals. But sometimes you just have to sit down and have a conversation with yourself, like, this shit is a death sentence. Like, what am I gonna be done paying for this house? And some people are like, did you regret doing the cash out refinance? Absolutely not, because at the end of the day, real estate, I feel like you can never lose if you invest the right way. I bought this property for $85,000 and I sold it for over 200 grand. And within that time frame, I probably made $60,000 a year with this one property alone. So it's definitely not a loss for me. It's definitely a W, but it's not for everyone. It's customer service. Yeah, and I want to explore flipping houses. So that's basically it for this video. I hope I answered all your questions. Every time I go get a silk press, it's like the sun is at its highest heat and I can't even live my best life for the remainder of the day. But thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to do a Q&A on Instagram. Please put your questions in there so the videos can continue to, keep coming out. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.